In this video, I should turn on the light first. In this video, we're gonna talk about my plan to build wealth. In fact, I'm going for $1.25 million, and I hope to get there between the next 10 to 20 years. Welcome to Funancialism, where we expand our wealth, growth, mindset. And this is one of those raw videos where I just talk about my plans. There's no editing. I'm just going in. A quick background. I'm not really ambitious when it comes to making a lot of money. I actually don't want too much money in my life. I'm not aiming for millions or anything like that. I know why I want 1.25 million, not 1 million, and my goal isn't 1.4 million. It's exactly 1.25 million. And I'll explain that in a minute. What I want to say is a lot of people, when they talk about money, their ultimate goal is usually, I want to buy my mom a house. I want to have $1 million. But why? Right? So is buying your mom a house what's going to bring her happiness? Maybe renting a cool area will be a lot better for her. She does not care if you own the place or not, if it's hers. She just wants to live there. And you can make that happen with renting as long as you invest the difference. That's a cool move to make too. A lot of people have these defaults, these ambitions. They're not really their ambitions. Like, if you ask a bunch of kids what they want to be when they grow up, you're going to hear doctor, lawyer, doctor, lawyer. Those are kind of defaults. And getting your mom a house, having $1 million, they're not our dreams. That is what I consider Wall Street propaganda. I think that these aspirations were kind of sold and marketed to us, that this is what it means to be a good person, and for some reason it's measured in these weird ways, because there's so many professions where you can help people and save lives and really make an impact without being a doctor or a lawyer. There's probably a lot of doctors and lawyers that are straight up goons. And there's so many ways to make our moms happy. So many ways. You don't have to have $1 million and buy your mom a house, although it would be nice. So my goal is $1.25 million because I calculated that as a frugal person, my expenses can be covered with about $50,000 annually. It might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less, but I'm estimating here that probably $50,000 falls into my range, and I plan to achieve that within the next 10 to 20 years. Here's the formula. I actually have quite a few videos explaining this concept, but it's the 4% rule. I talk about it in my compound interest video, for example, and here's how it works. As long as you withdraw 4% or less of your total amount of money, you have infinite money, as long as that pile of cash is invested in U.S. index funds. If you don't know what an index fund is, it's a combination of the top 500 companies in the United States. And I probably have a little tag popping up. You could watch that video where I say the same thing in a quirky way. So if you have friends who want to grow money, but they're kind of afraid of the personal finance world, that's a great video for them to get started. Definitely pause this one, save the link to that one, and share it with them. It'll go a long way, in my opinion. A lot of my shorter videos actually are all quirky and gaggy. They're there to make people laugh, but also to reinforce and have them memorize the facts that they avoided their whole lives to hear when it comes to finances. So back to the 4% rule. That's right. So if you have $1 and it's invested in U.S. index funds and you withdraw 4 pennies every year or less, that 96 cents is going to, with high probability, regenerate because it's invested in companies that are making money, are making profit, and that profit is shared with you. Typically, Wall Street, again, does not push this boring investing strategy of index funds. They're typically buy Tesla, buy Apple, get Microsoft, own Sony, so far and so, all of that stuff. You know what I mean? It's the get quick rich kind of propaganda, and I don't like that. I think I mean, I do believe that if you're going to be buying lottery tickets, it might as well be stocks because you actually have a chance of winning. But for the most part, index funds is the way to go. I personally buy index funds, again, the top 500 companies in the United States, every single month on the same day, the 24th. I invest every 24th because that's my grandma's birthday, and she was a very frugal person. She had her money right. She knew how much she had. She knew how much she was spending. She was generous. She knew how much money to give without hurting herself and helping her relatives back home in Ukraine and Russia. So in order to honor her legacy and what she started, I am investing every day, every month on her birthday, which is July 24th. So every 24th, I invest money, and I started with about $200 to $300 a month, and now I'm investing thousands of dollars a month. In fact, a majority of my check goes toward investments. I find it a lot less risky than putting my money in the bank, where we know that the dollar might lose value, but these companies are probably gonna outlive the United States. And that's my opinion. Don't quote me on that. I don't know the future. It's not like I work for the Illuminati or anything like that. I don't. I never went to their boot camp. I never signed up for their courses. I don't really know what the Illuminati is or what they do. They're not real. But I'm not saying the United States is going to disappear. But when it does, companies like Disney and McDonald's, they're spread throughout the world. They have power, and they're going to outlive most of our presidents, all of our presidents. So, yeah, when it comes to things like elections and things like that, I don't worry about it. When it comes to Apple having trouble with China because of, all of the viruses going around the world, I don't really flinch. I just buy on the 24th. I buy my index funds knowing that for the last 130 years, human progress has been increasing. Now we had, and that's not to say human progress is measured by stocks, but it does measure a certain kind of human progress. And I invest in that human progress. I believe it has a lot more potential than something like gold. That's a rock. It has its practical uses, of course, but I don't invest in minerals and diamonds and things like that because at the end of the day, those are just rocks. I want human progress to be in my portfolio. I want my money invested in people rather than in things like rocks and for that matter, I don't want to give my money to the bank because guess what they're going to do? They're just going to invest it. I might as well cut off the middle person and do it myself. So, yeah, long story short, $1.25 million, it seems like a very realistic goal for me to achieve. If I'm investing between $2,000 and $4,000 a year, I'm projected to reach it within 10 to 20 years, depending on how turbulent the market is, as long as I reinvest all of my dividends. There's a really cool video. It's about to hit 1,000 views, actually, quite soon, that I made on dividends and everything you need to know about them. 60-second summary of what a dividend is. It's basically profit that a corporation shares with you through their stock. That's why a synonym to stock is share. I'm buying shares of a company, right? So dividends are paid out from a lot of large corporations. And in that video, I talk about the dividend aristocrats, which are companies that have been paying out dividend stocks for the last 25 years, no matter what. That includes things like 9/11 and other horrible tragedies that occurred. So it kind of shows their power, and I definitely invest in stability like that. It's scary, but it kind of brings you peace of mind. So that's why I ignore all of the propaganda, all of the noise, all of the news, and I just invest blindly every single month. Blindly is the wrong word because, well, one, a lot of blind people have a lot of incredible insight, and it's not like they don't have vision. So that was a little bit rude of me, but there's definitely a plan to this. I'm looking at the large picture. Of course, there were crashes like 2008 and, of course, 2020 in March. There was a huge crash. I did see a third of my money disappear. Literally, a third of my money just vanished. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's like more money than I made in 2015 and 2016 combined. I definitely was sweating, but I kept investing, and I'm glad that I stuck to my principles, my core beliefs, and did not hesitate, because the market is as high as it's ever been on the day of me recording this, which is September 23rd. Tomorrow is the 24th. Actually, today is the 24th. If you're watching this now, it's probably past the 24th because you're late. Late to this glorious video. And by the way, if you have a day that you invest in, please drop a like below. I really a like and a comment. I want to hear your thoughts on how you picked your day. Like I said, I picked mine because of my grandma. I was shuffling some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Sometimes I do that. These are my personal formats. I make them myself, and this is for my girlfriend and I to... I'm trying to teach her how to play Yu-Gi-Oh because I've been just dueling myself for I don't know how long. Since 2015, I stopped playing the game, and I started investing. Coincidence? I don't know. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of my plan. Just invest into index funds and occasionally a couple individual stocks. Right now, a lot of my portfolio is weighed toward individual stocks. I'm talking Apple, Microsoft, Sony, the ones that I named at the start minus Tesla. I did sell it, and I missed out on a lot of money. But, oh my gosh, I'm bleeding. You see that blood? Hold on, let me show you that blood. Okay, it doesn't look as epic on the camera, but it is definitely pretty scary. Wow. Okay, I guess that's a good time to wrap things up. If you have any questions about making your own plan to 1.25 million, or whatever your amount is, I'm going to be having a free... Okay, it's not free. I'm going to be having a financial literacy course about getting started investing. I'm probably going to charge around $20, but I'm going to donate all of the money to a cause. I'm still deciding which one. I really want to help adults with special needs. I mean, we all got special needs, but you know what I mean? Like adults who... Usually people are willing to help kids who are atypical or neuro-unique. But when it comes to, like, as soon as you turn 21, it's over, you know, and the world is not built for you. It's not built around you, and I really want to help that group of people out. And my partner in crime, Yo Quiero Dinero podcast, check her out on Instagram. I probably am not going to add a little picture of her, but follow me on Instagram, by the way, Funancialism. You spell it the exact same way that you spelled it down there. She's a great person. She's just popping off. She lost her job in 2014 and started investing in herself. She's projected to make $60,000 this year off of her side hustles that she created for herself. She's her own boss, wonderful person, very powerful person. I sweat when I DM her because she kind of reminds me of Tony Soprano. I never watched The Sopranos, but you kind of know who Tony is, and you do not want to get on Yo Quiero Dinero's bad side. So, you're great, sister. No, but for really, you're a fantastic person if you're watching this, and I love all that you do, and I cannot wait to collaborate with you, and we can pick some fine organizations to donate the money to. So, I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, like Drake.